Hello everybody and welcome to my brand new channel. This channel is going to be created for my players mostly, but as well as a help guide to anybody else interested in the topics that I talk about. First set of topics that I'm going to be going over are how to create characters for a D&D campaign. I am a DM, otherwise known as Dungeon Master or GM Game Master. I'm the guy that gets to tell the story. I get to create the story and I get to tell it for everybody else to play in. I am the proverbial game maker. Without me, there is no game. So, what I'm doing here, though, I like to run games for new players. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. I think it's cool that people get to experience it for the first time. This is a great passion of mine. I love playing role-playing games. I love the mental aspect of it. It's got more freedom than a video game. You can do so much more with it. Everything takes place in your head. You have to have a imagination to be able to play these games. If you don't have an imagination, then you can go out and play Super Mario. I say that with great respect. I love Super Mario, but you can go do something where it's very linear. There's one direction you can go. That's it. Here, there's so many different things, so many different characters. There's such a rich environment. There's lore. There's anything, any question you can ask, there is going to be an answer to. And that's my job as a DM, is to make sure that there is an answer to anything you can ask, anything you can do, which gets really hard and makes me have to ad-lib quite a bit because I might not have anticipated one of my characters flying up and dropping another character who decides to do a cannonball through the skylight into the middle of the bad guys conference. So I gotta roll with it. This is what's happening. So I'm here to help you guys create the characters that can do things like that. So following videos in this playlist is going to be a what is D&D with a focus on Pathfinder, because I'm originally creating these for a Pathfinder D&D campaign that I'm doing with some new players to D&D. They've roleplayed before but never done D&D, so I'm going to kind of include a little bit more information on that. Following that is going to be a character concept video. This is one of the most important ones out there because it sets up everything you're going to do from that point on. It's where you come up with the actual character concept. That's why I called it character concept. It's there for you to really stop and take a moment and come up with what you want your character to do. Is he a poor farmer who picked up a sword for the first time? Is he a noble who's been trained since he was a toddler in how to negotiate? Is he or she, I'm using the word he because that's the first thing that comes to mind, but is she we'll go stereotypical, a seductress? Is she someone who gets her way by convincing everybody else to do what she needs around her? Is she a badass barbarian? Is she going to walk down, the street and people are going to run and hide? Depending on gameplay, all sorts of different things. But that's what that video is going to cover. Next is going to cover abilities, the basic building blocks of your characters, the things that, all the physical and mental attributes that are going to fundamentally make up your character. What are the base building blocks that you start with when you're creating your character? Similar to players. We all have our own abilities. You have your strength ability. It may not be equivalent to mine, and then I know for a fact mine is not equivalent to so many others. There's a wisdom, which is kind of like a street smart. There's intelligence, which is more along the lines of book smarts. So what are those, and how are they used? How do we create them? How do we roll them out? Next is going to be race and class level adjustments. Depending on your race, you get different bonuses or penalties. Your class is going to give you all the different benefits of the training that you've gone through in order to advance in that class. And then level. What level are you? Some campaigns start at level 1, some campaigns start at level 4, 7, some campaigns start at level 20, which is max level. You can't go beyond that, but the base stories end at level 20. So what do you all get for being a higher level? What's the advancement? What do you get at character creation? Next one will be feats. That'll probably be a pretty short one, I'm assuming, because feats, there's only so much I can talk about with feats. They're basically the specialty items. They really help flesh out a character. They're specialty things that your character can do, or what makes them slightly better than everybody else at certain aspects. Skills. This is how you interact with the game world in your head or on the table, as it is a tabletop game. It encompasses climbing. Can you climb a cliff face? Swimming, handling animals, teaching dogs tricks and things of that sort. Picking locks, tying knots, escaping from bonds. Basic knowledges, knowledge about the nobility of a region, knowledge about the arcane, magic, knowledge about dungeons. How were they created? How do they run? If you see moss growing on a certain side of a stalagmite or a stalactite, if you're looking up, then which way's north? Different things like that. So we're going to do skills, and I'll cover about how we do that when we get to that video. And then last but not least, the equipment. So equipment's kind of a fun part. So one of the last things, and most games, including especially mine, you'll end up getting newer, better equipment as you play. I like giving my players some fun things to play with and use because it makes it more interesting for me. If I throw a puzzle at them and they go, "Oh wait, we have this," and I go, "Oh crud, I forgot to give you that," and they bypass the whole section of my dungeon, which is so much fun. So equipment is buying things, and what are their uses? How to get your sword, your axe, your armor, different things like that. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you all enjoy it. Hopefully it helps people create their characters, and hopefully it helps my players get their characters. All right, excellent. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you one last thing. So these videos are made by me, for my private use, but I'm opening up for anybody to read it. So there may be references in here that aren't correct, and they may be references to different house rules, things where I go, I don't agree with that. So I agree with this. A basic one being that the skill for intimidate. If you want to scare the pants off someone to do something for you, it technically comes with the requirement of a high charisma. So you have to use your charisma to scare the pants off someone. And I disagree because I'm pretty sure if the Rock could, or Dwayne Johnson, I'm sorry, he's changed his name, were to walk down a dark alley towards me in a very menacing manner, charisma, he doesn't have to say a flippin' word and I will probably shit a brick. So yeah, I include strength as another option. You can pick whichever one is higher. That's a house rule of mine. So I may reference things like that, and I may say certain things that don't line up with the rules that are in the books or in the SRDs or different things like that. So keep that in mind, that these videos are for me and for my use. So that is what it is. And now, truly, without further ado, on to the rest of the videos.